Hello everyone, my name is Erin Palola, and today I'm going to be talking about some adaptations that could be made to the FDA's The Real Cost campaign. The primary issue the FDA wishes to address is teen vaping. A 2022 FDA survey found that by 12th grade, 27% of kids had recently tried vaping, and according to the FDA, most people who use tobacco products as adults start before the age of 18. Despite the legal age to buy tobacco being federally raised to 21, minors are still able to get their hands on vape products through a variety of means. Although a majority borrowed from their friends, about 9%, almost 6% are able to buy the vape products on their own, either through an online retailer or in a store. They could then very easily share with their friends, exposing more minors to the risk of nicotine addiction. There's also a disturbingly high rate of statistics which imply poor mental health conditions for high schoolers in the nation. Almost 19% of all respondents in a CDC survey of high schoolers across the country seriously considered suicide in the past 12 months, and just about a third were showing signs of depression. The need for mental health resources is urgent for all children in school, and especially those who are struggling with addiction. Vaping has not been studied for very long, so the long-term effects are still unknown. According to the CDC, in 2023, complications associated with vaping have risen in recent years as more people use these products. The University of Southern California also noted in one article how vaping-related lung injuries and illnesses have dramatically increased amongst young adults, even discussing the case of a 17-year-old boy who lost his life to such complications. One key finding from all of my research was that 46% of survey respondents in the CDC's Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance Survey who currently use some form of tobacco product had not tried to quit in the last 12 months. This statistic illustrates that current vape users need more ways to quit and more ways to replace the habit. In addition, a 2018 study in tobacco control claimed that over half of the current youth using Juul pods had no idea they contained nicotine. FDA research from 2022 found that over 85% of those in high school who report using vape products use flavored ones, meaning that this type of product is particularly dangerous in relation to possible teen addiction. Although some restrictions have been placed on flavors, there continues to be ways found around the rules. Current advertising isn't explaining risk of vape accurately, so it's important to educate youth on the risk despite its appealing taste and packaging that they might not typically associate with traditional tobacco. Finally, statistics in various studies bring up concerning mental health trends amongst youth. For example, nearly one-third of respondents said yes when asked if during the past 12 months did you ever feel so sad or hopeless almost every day for 2 weeks or more in a row that you stopped doing some usual activities. The loss of hope among youth combined with a lack of resources and information about vaping puts more people at risk of becoming addicted. Additional campaigns the FDA and other organizations have initiated in order to combat tobacco use informed adjustments that could be made to the Real Cost campaign. The FDA has conducted advertising under the names Fresh Empire, which focused a lot on family and community consequences of smoking, and This Free Life, which more specifically targeted LGBTQ+ groups. Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids is a huge name in the world of smoking prevention since they've been around for over 2 decades. They run off of private donations and have done campaigns like National Kick Butts Day. Truth Initiative is a government-funded organization and is also a very well-known smoking cessation group. They do a lot of social media advertising and recently did a campaign called Breath of Stress Air. With all that information in mind, these are the key messages that the campaign will focus on. Continuing to inform young people about dangerous health choices like using nicotine and more specifically vape devices is important. Since they see vapes frequently and are exposed to advertising that doesn't inform them about the risks, they need to be able to get reliable information somewhere. Next, providing increased mental health resources in schools is long overdue. Groups or tools to quit smoking is part of these resources that need to be provided. Finally, a major goal of the campaign should be to prevent minor vape sales since this is in direct violation of current laws. People who vape come from diverse backgrounds. No two people are the same, but some groups are more at risk for smoking. These groups include, according to FDA research, people that have more educational barriers, are lower income, and that are experiencing mental health symptoms. Symptoms. Demographics this campaign should focus on are youth from the ages of 14 to 17. These ages represent all years of high school when people are potentially most at risk to become addicted to nicotine products. Additionally, people who have tried or use vape products are the target because they are most at risk for developing an addiction. Certain areas of the country have much higher rates of smoking, so these would be good areas to advertise in. For this campaign, using the GOST framework will help to create specific and actionable goals. Primary goal of this campaign is to reduce the amount of high school students overall that are using vape products. Any amount of reduction would be an improvement. Objectives of this campaign include reducing the number of minors who are able to buy their own vape products. By 2025, if less than 1% of respondents in the CDC's Youth Risk Behavior Survey report being able to buy their own vapes, that would be a huge reduction from the current 6% rate. It is also a goal of the campaign to increase current tobacco users' rates of attempting to quit. Right now, only about 46% have tried to quit in the last year. By providing more resources to quit, that number could hopefully go up quite a bit. Some strategies this campaign will use to achieve its goals are shown here. Creating advertising in retail stores and online which informs students of potential criminal penalties for buying vapes as a minor could help reduce rates of minor purchases. A media intervention campaign could also be used in schools and on popular TV shows in which a storyline about buying a vape as a minor goes wrong, reinforcing the danger of buying as a minor. Finally, using social media advertising, collaborating with influencers, and working with popular brands amongst youth can help get the message out to target audiences. Some of the more specific tactics of the campaign include using physical ads to deter people from buying vape products as a minor, collaborating with well-known brands, shows, and organizations, creating a consistent and appealing social media presence, and creating links between resources to quit smoking and youth who currently vape. Although many campaign materials will be needed, this is an example of one that could be used in gas stations and nicotine retailers. Simply reminding cashiers and minors who are considering trying to buy nicotine that doing so is illegal and ID will be checked could be enough to either scare someone off or remind an employee to ID. The initial campaign planning will take 1 year to create strong foundations and find optimal target market overlap. After the planning and coordination stage, the campaign efforts will run for another year from winter 2024 to late fall 2024. Campaign review and measurement will take place as 2025 approaches in order to see if goals were met. The budget which was allowed in the case brief provided by the FDA was $10,000. The majority of this budget will go towards creating campaign materials for stores and schools and consistently making social media advertisements, which are luckily a cheap way to spread the message. This is the evaluation plan for the campaign, which includes measuring engagement and views to see how well it's doing. We can also use the GOST framework referenced above to see if the goals were met.